Welcome to another edition of Highliner News. I'm Mara.
And I'm Carson. Recently, a VCHS alum came back to Valley City to share her passion.
London Dietrich writes the story.
Writing poetry, writing little stories has always just been a hobby of mine. I really enjoyed junior high with our teacher, Mrs. Langamo. She made English very fun. She made memorizing things very fun. And then I didn't really take it up as a career or anything. I studied pharmacy, and so it's just kind of a hobby.
Cami has a unique point of view as the author of her book.
The more kids we had, the little funny antics they have, or the way they say things, or the way they interact with their animals and toys. It just is a totally different way of looking through life. You see how they can totally believe that their teddy bear is real. And so it just kind of leads to that, bringing back the imagination and pretend that you have as a little kid. Once you have kids of your own, you can kind of relive that imagination.
Although she's always loved literature, her favorite part isn't writing the book.
You know what I love is just going to the classrooms. I was lucky enough to go to the preschool today at St. Catherine's, and then their first and second grade. And I said, if I could do this full time, just visiting classrooms, talking about books, talking about imagination and pretend, that would be wonderful for me.
For Highliner News, this is London Dietrich.
Michaela Walla takes us to Jefferson Elementary for a few hours to experience life as a kindergarten student.
Mrs. Powers walks us through a normal day of a kindergartner.
Okay, well, kids come in the morning and they have jobs to do just like every other student does. Put your things away, get your folders out, and we have a little bit of work to do. And then we do reading. And then we have gym, which is a favorite. And then we do some more, but then we do playtime. And that's probably their favorite part of the day, is just being able to play with toys, play with each other. And we actually learn a lot by playing, social skills and how to get along and how to work together.
I ask if it ever gets frustrating when kids can't stay on task.
Very much so. Sometimes it depends on the ability of the child. Most of the time we have different activities every 5 to 10 minutes, just because that's how often they can attend to the task. And so we just have to teach them how to stay on that task until they finish. It's just little goals we take each day at a time.
Mrs. Powers gets a closer look every day of life of a kindergartner.
Life of a kindergartner is fun every day. Our job as teachers in kindergarten is to make school fun, and we really want to just make them have a good time, help them have a good time when they're here. And so just having fun things, fun activities, and that they're going to learn through playing, learn through doing. And we just want to make school really fun for them, so that's where they want to be.
This is Michaela Walla reporting for Highliner News.
Mrs. Gregerson is introducing a new project to her math class.
Reporter Alyssa Hatcher jumps into the story.
It's the Barbie bungee jump, and the purpose is to work with linear equations in a way that's different from what we just do in the textbook. So they have to decide how many rubber bands Barbie needs to make it to the thrilling but safe part of the jump. So the elevator is 15 feet high, and they have to make it somewhere between 13 and 15 feet. They really seem to enjoy it. They dug in right away the first day with gathering data. They had to drop their Barbie with 1 rubber band, and then 2 rubber bands, and 3 rubber bands, and see how far it would go. And then from that data, they only got 7 rubber bands to use, and from there they had to figure out how many it would take to do the full jump. So overall, it was a very fun project.
Reporting for Highliner News, this is Alyssa Hatcher. Are you smarter than a 5th grader?
Haley Dalglish asks 5th graders to come up with questions to challenge you.
3 kids from Mrs. Kellogg's 5th grade class want to see if you're smarter than a 5th grader.
What is 5,734 divided by 15? A, 345, B, 382, or C, 387? B, 382.
What is the capital of Maine? A, Boise, B, Augusta, C, Providence? B, Augusta.
My question is, how do you spell poinsettia? Is it P-O-I-N-S-E-T-T-A for A, or B, B-O-I-N-T-S-E-T-A, or C, P-O-I-N-S-E-T-T-I-A? It's C, P-O-I-N-S-E-T-T-I-A. A-T-T-I-A.
From Highliner News, this is Haley Dalgleish.
Bells don't just mean Christmas is coming.
Natalie Lemnis rings in on the story of the Salvation Army.
From Thanksgiving to Christmas Eve, the Salvation Army Red Kettles can be found. They raise funds to provide food, shelter, rehabilitation, and disaster relief for families in crisis. The multimedia class volunteered for a day. You too can be part of the Red Kettle tradition and help those in need by signing up to ring.
Look at you guys.
Reporting for Highliner News, this is Natalie Lemnis.
Carson Main takes to the hallways of VCHS to ask some crazy questions.
Hello, Valley City Public Schools. It's me, Carson Main. She got her own news segment. So what we're doing today is we're asking people moderately hard trivia questions. Let's go see how they do.
It's Carson's Crazy Trivia. Woo!
We found our first two contestants. They're a little nervous. They're going as a duo, so let's find out their names.
Olivia. Faith.
Okay, we have our first question.
As of 2014, what country has watched the most hours of YouTube per person?
Here are your choices: Brazil, Thailand, Saudi Arabia, or America.
America. America. That wasn't right.
It's Saudi Arabia. Now welcome our next contestant. His name is
Josh Vackel.
Josh Vackel, tell us a fun fact about yourself. We need some of those. Okay, taking too long. Let's get into the question, shall we?
Which of the following is the highest grossing video game franchise to date?
Your choices are Call of Duty, Mario, Pokemon, or FIFA. And your answer is?
Well, if I had to choose, it would have to be the first one.
Call of Duty?
Yes.
That wasn't right.
The answer is Mario. A big thanks to everyone who participated. Hopefully we get to do another one of these, so one of you gets to be on the show. For Highliner News, this is Carson Main. Two high school teachers switched subjects for a while.
Presley Curtis and Michaela Waller brings you Teacher Swap.
Mr. Murray and Mrs. Schnanko agree to switch places to find out the different areas of teaching.
I don't think I'm too nervous. I don't know a whole lot about what I have to teach, I don't think, but we'll let it go. I'll be honest. I actually worked with this stuff 13 years ago, APA. I mean, I actually did use that citation format back in college, or in my master's program back in 2005 through 2007.
Mr. Murray has one famous line while trying to teach English.
I'll get back to you tomorrow. That works in my other classes too. But do I get back to you? No. Okay. I'll get back to you next hour. Does that answer that question for you?
No.
Okay. I'll get back to you. Well, I won't actually.
There were some formats that Mr. Murray didn't quite get.
I don't know. I was somewhat lost. MLA in Chicago? Chicago's in Illinois.
No.
I'm not sure what you're...
We've said it in other classes. We want to know why this is different.
Well, I didn't really know what I was talking about because it's spelled differently. APA and MLA are spelled differently.
Thank you.
Any other questions I can't answer? Well, I hope you've learned a lot about APA today. It's not my cup of tea.
Next, we check out how Mrs. Schnanko handles the math field.
I was prepared to talk about sine and cosine.
Yes, Jessie. How do we know which trig function to use?
Assuming there are, how many are there? There are 6 trig functions, Jessie. So because there are 6 problems, you would obviously apply one of the trig functions on each question. So I learned that a math teacher actually just has them right on the board a lot and doesn't need to teach anything. I'm going to see if you're doing it right. I may need to give you some pointers.
We asked Mrs. Schnanko about her experience with pre-calc.
I didn't get to talk about literature or authors or themes or emotions or meaning. We just talked numbers. You need to really watch this decimal position if you're not being careful, it'll round itself up.
I have a question.
Oh, yep, I'm ready.
When will we ever use this?
Reporting for Highliner News, this is Presley Curtis.
Every so often, there will be a new face in the Resource Center.
Reporter Jaden Dietrich gives us the story.
Meet Miko, the newest member of ECHS. Before we dig into the story, let's go over some ground rules.
Don't grab at me, let me smell you first. You know, this is coming from Miko's perspective. Let me walk away, take turns, those kind of things.
On Miko's first day here, we met up with Miss Lever to ask her how it's been.
It has been amazing today. It has been a great day. There's been so many kids stopping in and they totally love him.
Talking about Miko had us reminiscing about another dog.
We used to have a dog that came to the school named Junior, and Mrs. Toso had him here, and I just missed having a dog here.
Mrs. Lever tells us about the training process.
We began with like obedience training, and then I took online classes. I took an online handlers course, and I took an online canine body language course, which is pretty cool. And so we're still working on like the obedience part. Well, the purpose is just to pretty much give out love. He loves people, and ever since I got him, I knew he needed a job besides just taking care of our family, because, you know, some people don't have pets at home, and kids are having a rough day. If they're stressed out, if you just come and hang out with him, he'll make you feel better.
When will Miko be here? Let's ask Mrs. Leerud.
Right now we just have 3 scheduled days for the whole quarter, and so it's kind of equaled out to once a month.
Reporting for Highliner News, this is Jane Dieterle.
Thank you to Jesse Undum for sending us a picture of Diesel displaying Highliner Pride.
Send us a copy of your Highliner pet pride, and you may see them on Highliner News. Thank you for joining us from the halls of Valley City High School for another edition of Highliner News. I'm Mara.
And I'm Carson.